So, Mr. Patel, tell me about yourself.
Well, before I begin and give you some information about me, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out and having me come in and interview for this position. So my name is Dushyant Patel. I am currently a freshman at Temple University. I am pursuing a bachelor's degree in sport and recreation management. And before I get into why I selected that career choice, I just want to give you a couple character traits I would use to describe myself as a person. The first trait I would use is that I am a very resilient person. Um, if you give me a task to do, I won't stop until that task is completed. There are no limits as to how far I would go to get something done. I can bring endless energy to the workplace, and that energy I bring, I don't just contain it and keep it to myself. I'll be energetic to the coworkers around me, and if they need to boost morale, I can give that to them. And I think that's very beneficiary to have, a very beneficiary trait to have in a workplace, because with that, you're creating positive energy in a work environment. Another trait I would use to describe myself would be fearless. I don't get intimidated often. I am not scared by many things, especially work-related tasks. No matter how big the task, I will have the confidence to get the job done. I always feel I have the necessary tools and the ability to get things done right. And I'm not lacking in confidence. That's something I'm very high in, and yeah. Another character trait I would use to describe myself is flexible. I can adapt and make changes on the spot. I'm able and willing to learn more than one position. And if you want me to do more than one thing, I'm completely fine with that. I won't take that, as in, oh, I have to do more things. I'm just happy that I could help in any way. I'm always willing to learn more and do more. So as to why I picked sport and recreation management as my career choice, from the day I was born, sports has been my passion. I'm addicted to sports, to say in a good way. Since I could walk, I've been playing basketball, football, and basketball. I played football and baseball through my senior year in high school, and that's just my passion in life. And with a degree in sport and recreation management, I hope to someday be able to work the front office of a professional organization, and I want to help them win and get as many championships as possible. And that's why I selected sport and recreation as my career choice.
Tell me about some significant accomplishments you've had in your life.
So, an accomplishment I am fairly proud of was landing an internship during my senior year of high school. In my high school, it was required for all seniors during the fourth quarter to find an internship anywhere just to gain valuable work experience. And if you got that, you would be excused from classes for the rest of the year. So I applied at a dentistry to be the head dentist's office, his assistant, along with as long as being an assistant with his other assistants. There were many other students also applying for the same position. I wasn't the only one, so there was a very high level of competition to get this one available internship. I was lucky enough to actually run into the dentist before he actually picked someone, as we both went to the same temple. And in that 10-minute conversation I had with him, I was able to, tell him character traits about myself and why I would be the best person for this internship, and how I would just be, the person for the job. And using the confidence I had in myself, I was able to implant confidence in him in hiring me for the position. And so I think that little confrontation paid off a lot, because I actually did end up getting the internship. And getting the internship to me was a very big deal, and it was an accomplishment. But I also learned significantly from it in the 3 weeks I spent at his office, all his offices. I learned what it's like in a workplace, and what it's like to run smoothly on a daily basis. And I learned how different people that have different roles come together to work together and make the place run smoothly. The dentist had 2 locations, and I noticed how at both locations he had the same values put into his employees. So both places ran smoothly, and it's almost like you're at the same place regardless of the location, because even though they were different employees at both locations, they both had the same values and visions in them to make the place run smoothly. Another accomplishment I'm very proud of is, as a senior in high school on the baseball team, we won the section championship for our school for the first time in 23 years. Now, winning the championship was obviously a very big deal for us, since, especially since it was 23 years since our last championship. But what I think is the better accomplishment of that is how we grew as a team through Tuckman's model of group development. So for the forming process, we would come together weeks before the season actually began, and we would gather in our school gym at 6 in the morning to just throw a baseball around, talk to each other, get that team chemistry going, and take batting practice together. And then after that, we would even sometimes go out to eat breakfast. So this just helped us form as a team and get to know each other better, because we just needed that with the juniors coming up. We weren't too familiar with them. For the storming part, we had some position available on the starting lineup, and because of that, there were a couple of rivalries that were formed on the team as players, were fighting for the same starting position. Also, during the season, we hit a rough patch where we would, lose a couple of games in a row, and we would start, playing the blame game and blaming a kid for this loss or blaming someone else for that loss. And we just weren't as unified as we should have been at that point in the season. For the knowing part, though, we overcame the storming as we worked through the rough patch. We came together. We had a team-only meeting with no coaches, so a players-only meeting, and we decided that the way things are going right now, it's not a plan to be a successful team. We came up with a notion that we win together and we lose together. So with that meeting, we became like that. The team became like my second family. That's how close we became. For the performing part, after that meeting and when the playoffs started, we entered as the 6th seed, and we played our best ball of the year come playoff time. In consecutive days, we beat the 3 seed, the 2 seed, and the 1 seed to win the championship. All 3 games were on the road. All 3 games were in different counties, so we were traveling like an hour and a half apart for like each game. And just that with that, performing, we were able to win the championship. For the adjourning part, we stayed in contact with each other even after the season ended. We would still go out to eat together, and we would just hang out together in school. And we didn't let the end of the baseball season end our camaraderie as a team, and we just stayed friends for the rest of the school year.
What are some things you've learned in human resource management?
So far, while taking this class, human resource management, I would say the most important thing I've learned about is transformational leadership skills. Through individualized consideration, that skill has taught me how, even if I have the name, the higher name in the group, that everyone in my group and my coworkers are just as important as I am. Everyone plays a key role into having a successful business, and you can't be focused on just yourself and get caught up in your title and think that you're the best person in the group. Through intellectual stimulation, I've learned that motivation of your workers around you is key in building a strong work environment. That's taught me that you can't just give out orders to your employees and have them complete them. You need to convince them why it's important to get it done, and overall, that's just a very important trait. For idealized influence, this has taught me how you can use your personal experiences and bring it into the workplace to your advantage. Using your experiences to motivate your employees is key, because in doing this, the people around you know that you have the experience that has helped you to get to where you are. And with that, it can help you gain the respect and the trust of your employees, because they know from what you've experienced that you are a qualified person for the job, and that they're not taking orders from a nobody, and they know that they're taking orders, and the person in charge of them is an experienced and respectful human being. Through inspirational motivation, this has taught me that being on the same page with your coworkers and employees is very, very important in having a successful organization. It's taught me how shared values and shared vision means unification and camaraderie in the workplace. You can't be a successful organization if, as a group, you all have different values and visions. It just doesn't work out, and that's what inspirational motivation has taught me. It's also taught me that it helps an organization run smoothly because everyone would be on the same page, and they know what's expected of them, and they know what they need to do to get things done the right way as a group. And that's what I've learned through human resource management so far this year.